All right, rock and roll. Welcome to the Scorched Earth Political Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could kindly hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. And here we we go over the day's events and maybe a more raw, unabridged, honest look at what goes on in the world of media and politics. And here we welcome all sinners and saints, friends and foes. And if you'd like, leave some comments. I like the trolls. I like everybody. I like political discourse. It's always a good thing. Get out your views. If you're a Trumper, go ahead, tell me. That's fine. I can convert you. I got the wisdom to take care of you there, huh? And let's go. Let's go. You know, we're taking no prisoners, telling no lies, and let's burn it all to the ground. Today, I guess it's yesterday. You'll be seeing this on Wednesday. The White House literally wants me to vomit. They sent a spending cut bill to Congress for $9.4 billion in cuts. Now let's go back in the time capsule to January 20th, where I don't know if he used AutoPen, I don't know if he was on ketamine, but President Trump signed an enormous amount of executive orders, okay? He had those already. One of the first things he did was cut USAID. He cut funding for the IRS, Social Security, all these programs, basically resulting in layoffs, staff layoffs, things like that. But where he kept getting pushback, and he's lost 94% of his cases that have been adjudicated before a federal judge or a district court judge, right? 94%. 6%. He's only good on 6%. It sounds like his grades over there at Wharton, but I digress. So what happens is, and where the problem was, is Congress in September makes a budget. It passes Congress, it gets approved by the Senate, and it goes to the president who signs it. Now, these programs were all funded for a full calendar year from September to September, right? Well, he came in January and says, hey, I'm not going to send the checks, which is totally illegal. Now, Congress didn't say anything because they're Republicans. They're part of the fold. They're the cuckold, whatever you want to call it. And they just sat there and said, yeah, go ahead. Just don't send the checks. Even though legally he was supposed to follow through on the commitment of the budget that Congress had passed and the President Biden back then had passed. Okay? So now he is sending quote unquote cuts to Congress for this next bill, the one in September. Wow. Took him 4 months. Gee, I guess you were too busy taking planes and golf courses and all the other meme coin grift to get out there and get that budget. It's only been 4 months. Don't you fret about it. You're a busy man. You know, the rich. Hey, let me ask you something. Did President Trump, did you teach Bernie Madoff or did Bernie Madoff teach you? Just wondering, asking for a friend. Hopefully one day you sell like Bernie Madoff had. So they sent cuts of $9.4 billion. Elon and Trump on stage during the campaign of 2024, going to save $2 trillion. Then it got walked back to $1 trillion. And then they walked it back to $160 billion in bullshit numbers that were on the Doge wall of receipts. Right? The New York Times, we've talked about it. The New York Times had 3 reporters on it. They found that like 80% of it couldn't be substantiated, right? So finally the number got put down to like 56 billion or 60 billion. Even that wasn't substantiated, right? That was just Elon walking out the door, having another, shot of ketamine, pissing his pants and saying, thank you for letting me destroy the government. And thank you for letting me collect all this data on everybody in the United States. Appreciate it. It's going to help me with my marketing on Tesla or SpaceX or whatever wacky thing he's going to do next, right? So they have decided they're going to go through with cutting USAID for next year. There's $3 billion. They're going to cut NPR. They're going to cut PBS. Sorry, Big Bird. I always loved you, Ernie and Bert. I always loved you. And the 300,000 people who will lose their lives by not funding USAID and that soft power in these countries where starvation is rampant, where there's water deprivation, where there's hunger, where there's no medicine, where we fund the infrastructure for Doctors Without Borders, all these humanitarian things. You know, when there's a bombing in Ukraine, we set up a soup kitchen over there. We have Americans who go over there to help. The U.S. government typically supplies the food. They supply the manpower. We supply the food. No more. Sorry. Almost sounds like North Carolina, right? You know, hey, sorry. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. All right. So we went from $2 trillion to $9.4 billion. I mean, how does that even work? Like, that's not even 0.5 of 1%. I mean, really? I mean, I'm sure we can find more in the latest grift that Trump just ran. Maybe that's what he ought to do. Maybe he ought to just dismantle the JED and start funding, Bert and Ernie. I don't know. All right. I got to tell you, I love this story. It's probably not a big story, but son of a bitch. I want to say that we're living in an administration where there's some really comical figures. Kash Patel is a joke. Tulsi Gabbard is just a bloody idiot. Pig Hegseth is literally a spy for everybody else. I mean, Signal Chat. I was thinking to myself yesterday, the Ukrainians planned out a 1.5 year operation to sabotage bomber jets deep inside Russia. Do you think they use Signal Chat like Pig? Just saying. And then I got hardened today. One of the few upbeat moments of the day was seeing that the Ukrainians blew up a bridge between Russia and Crimea. I love seeing that. Take it to them, man, before peace talks. At the end of the day, and I keep saying it, why doesn't President Trump bring Russia to the table by saying we'll give them $100 billion in weapons? Forget all the nice talk and we're gonna talk to you sternly, and me and Chuck Schumer are gonna get together and write a strongly worded letter. Blah 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 blah. Bullshit. Just go out and say we are going to give $100 billion in military aid to Ukraine. Let's see how quick Russia gets to the table. They'll get to the table quicker than those Palestinians get to that one Gaza food relief place, which was just a mess on a mess. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. But I want to get back to the story because, man, this is like a river. It just flows each way, right? Okay? So we heard last week, or I was actually this week, I apologize, that I think it was Saturday. I don't know I guess that's last week. I apologize, yeah. So Kristi, cosplay Noem, I guess between getting new action figure outfits, said that an illegal immigrant had threatened the President of the United States. And she actually produced letters that showed that this man was threatening to kill the president. Now, this man his name is Ramon Morales Reyes. You poor son of a bitch. You poor son of a bitch. You just got played like literally it's a game of Monopoly, right? So Kristi went public and she said this man, she produced the receipts, the letters, blue ink, the whole thing. I am going to threaten. It was written, a little primitively, whatever. Come to find out, Ramon can't speak or write English. The plot thickens. Oops. I guess Kristi didn't do a little background on that. She couldn't get out in front of the press quick enough in that shiny latex. And then Milwaukee, or the city where this gentleman was, he was scooped up by HHS. He's facing a deportation hearing, of course. And Milwaukee police found out that this other gentleman, Demetric Scott, admitted to framing Ramon. So what the plot thickens. In 2023, it seems like Demetric had a problem with Ramon. Don't know what that was. He stabbed and assaulted him. he was up on criminal trial. They were going to go to trial next month, and Ramon was going to testify against Demetric. Now, Demetric currently is incarcerated. He is in jail. So the Milwaukee police and detectives searched his cell. They found the evidence of him writing. He actually was on the phone to his mom admitting what he did. They reached out to his associates and they said, yeah, he's been making all this evidence and sending it to HHS and Pam Bondi at DOJ. Finally, one of them bit. Now, herein lies the rub. There's always a rub, especially with this administration. Ramon is going to have a deportation hearing today. Now, you know he's gone. That dude is gone. I hope I'm wrong. I do. Because this dude deserves his stay. He deserves his due process. But they're going to get him out of here. So Demetric is now not going to have to face his only witness in this criminal trial of a stabbing and assault next month. So Demetric framed the guy. He's going to get him deported. Hey, enjoy that one-way flight to San Salvador, poor Ramon. And Demetric's going to walk free. Yeah. What a goddamn country. What a country. I mean, really. They've got the guy on phone talking to his mom saying he framed the dude. Maybe I'm wrong. And I will tell you, if Ramon doesn't get deported, I will own it. But I just don't believe anything out of this administration. They are liars. They are cheats. They are reptilian scum. Even Stephen Miller has to look at them and go, God damn, they're messed up. Right? All right. Let's get on to the next story. Let's burn it down a little more. I was really hot there. Just a little hot. All right. So we had BFFs as of a month ago, Elon and Donald Trump. Elon liked access to power, to the databases of the IRS, Treasury, Social Security. Our data is in his hands. You can sit there and act like it isn't. No, the walls have been torn down. Our data is in that guy's hands. Expect to get a little letter from Tesla anytime soon. Okay. Donald Trump liked Elon because he gave $300 million to his campaign last year. Okay. Yeah. Hell, I'd like him too. But it seems like Elon's got a problem with Don. Now, he left last Friday. Maybe the ketamine ran out. Maybe the black eye, was from Trump, when he was kneeling in front of Trump and his Johnson, blackened him in the eye. I don't know. I'm just saying. Looked weird. Didn't look like a black eye I had ever seen. And Elon came out Tuesday talking about his big, beautiful bill, President Trump's big, beautiful bill. He was very demure last Friday in the Oval Office. Well, it seems like he actually found his voice. And he called it a disgusting abomination. Okay? Now, this is from a guy on ketamine that the New York Times reports was so out of control, he had no bladder control. He was urinating in his own pants. When somebody like that tells you something is a gross abomination, you got a problem. You really need to look in the mirror. Okay? Elon continued. He says, I'm sorry, but I can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you're wrong. You know it. He also said Congress is going to make America bankrupt. Now, here comes the most important line. In November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. Now, let's call it what it is. The Democrats want to welcome him with open arms because he's got cash. We know he's a lunatic. We know he's a goddamn insane, but he's got cash. Everybody's running to the guy with cash. Everybody sits here and wrings their hands and says, when he's on the other side of the aisle, oh, he's terrible. This is a terrible human being. 2 of his baby mamas are suing him to prevent him from seeing the kids because he's never seen the kids. Okay? I'm not going to say that's the only thing, but that sure as hell a big red flag. Okay? Any dad who doesn't want to see his kids a piece of crap. Sorry. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. They're a piece of crap. And then on top of that, F them. I digress. Please excuse the vulgarity. But the White House was caught off guard. They thought they were all leaving on good terms. Elon was going to go back and try and resurrect Tesla. Good luck. That only happened with Lazarus. It's not going to happen with your stupid company because you're DOA. DOA. Yeah, that's what I said. And they thought that secretly he was going to keep his thoughts to himself about how he felt on the bill. But it does seem like Elon had an ulterior motive. Seems like the EV credits for vehicles, which I believe are $5,700, the carbon bill, the carbon credit is $5,700. And that's going to go away in this big, beautiful bill. And Elon actually in Tesla didn't make any money last year. The only reason they turned a small profit was because they sold their EV credits to Ford and GM and Stellantis. Okay? It's just the numbers, right? I apologize, the credit was $7,500, not $57,000. Okay? That is going to go away. And I guess Elon ain't too happy. Yeah, right? So now he's coming out against the big bill, beautiful bill. And I'm going to give you a real bummer right now. Big, beautiful bill is going to pass. The Republicans have to. What can they do? We can pressure them all we want. All these fiscal hawks are going to they're going to cower down and kiss the ring. I don't know what it's going to end up looking like, but they're going to, because at some point, what's their option? Are we going to go into an election year with having done no legislation? Mike Johnson is the most incompetent, inept Speaker of the House ever. He has literally passed the fewest bills in the history of a Speaker of the House. He's inept, he's evil, and he looks like a dork. Yeah, John, you don't have to get that personal. Sorry, I just had to say it, okay? He looks like a goddamn character from King of the Hill. Okay? I said it. Nobody else is saying it. That's why you come here. Because I'm going to tell you, this guy is a caricature of himself. Okay? Go ahead. Cut 300,000 of your Louisiana fellow mates from Medicaid. Go ahead. Just look them in the eye and say they're lazy. Yeah, man. What a guy. What a guy. Well, there is right now the bill has moved to the Senate. They only need 50 votes because J.D. Vance, in between eyeliner sessions, will go and be the tie-breaking vote, right? They have 53, so they can only use 3. Seems like Lisa Murkowski's got some problems with the EV credit. Susan Collins has some issues. We don't know where Mitch McConnell is on all this. And Mitch, don't you wish you would have impeached him back in January of 2021? Yeah, another incompetent move by you. But the guy who is really seeming to be the biggest stickler, and it's just one vote, so let's not get all happy just yet, right? Is Rand Paul. Now, Trump went on social media and said Rand Paul's an idiot. He doesn't understand tariffs. He doesn't understand economics. And Rand Paul's thing is, I am not going to raise the debt ceiling. Now, I know everybody out there probably knows infinitely more about the debt ceiling, but let me explain it. It's when we have $5 trillion, let's just say, give a number, $5 trillion in income coming in money coming in through tariffs, taxes, fees, whatever you want to call it. And we spend $7 trillion. So you have to raise the debt ceiling $2 trillion. Basically, raising the debt ceiling allows you to go out and sell securities, which is just like loans on the debt. And you agree to pay the bond market 4.5%, 5%, whatever the market sets. Whatever these people will have to get a return so that they will buy your debt. Okay? All right. I don't know if I explained it that well. If I didn't, it's not the first time you've been flummoxed by me, okay? I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. Look, with a face this pretty, really, you expect me to be smart too? Come on, hombre. Come on, you little fillies. Well, Rand Paul told CNN he had a lengthy discussion with Trump and told the president that he cannot back the bill if they increase the debt ceiling. Well, they're not coming in with a budget that's even. You know, we're only gonna spend $5 trillion and we brought in $5 trillion. No, no. We're gonna have $9 billion in cuts, but we're going to expand the debt by another $7 trillion in the next 5 years. Minimum. You know, it's funny, that's what the CBO says, and all the Republicans, Mike Johnson among them, say, oh, the CBO's numbers are wrong. You know, for the last 4 years, I've been hearing you guys say the CBO numbers are right. They underestimate it when it comes to Biden. When it's your guy, you know, it's like a wish list. Oh, no. I can tell you right now, and I've seen it long enough, if they say it's going to expand the debt, $5 trillion, you can sure as hell be sure it's going to be 8. They use every sleight of hand. They're like magic hands, jazz hands, they call it. David Copperfield would be envious the sleight of hand they do. Paul Newman in The Sting would be envious. These guys are crooks on crooks on crooks. Well, John Thune, who's the leader of the House now, that idiot out of South Dakota, says they will not drop any language addressing the debt limit hike, which means they are going to increase the debt limit. They want this bill on the president's desk by July 4th. I think that's very ambitious, but we shall see what happens. And that is it for today, my friends. I want to tell you again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we're in this together. We're going to win because we're on the side of right. We're on the side of good. And we're fighting for democracy. Not just our own democracy, but the democracy of our kids, our brothers or sisters, our moms and dads, and our kids. Because this country is worth fighting for. I love y'all. And I'll see you soon on the Scorched Earth.